How's it going, everyone? Today we are going to take a look at the Master Grade Stormbringer P.F. A little of a backstory for the Stormbringer P.F. It's the latest upgrade of the Gundam Stormbringer, and I say latest because I haven't read the web light novels that this kit comes out of. It is available on the Gundam Info website, but the English version is only up to the 4th episode. Yes, they call them episodes. And in the wiki, the Japanese side is on the 9th episode. I didn't know what the PF stood for, so I did a bit of googling and I found out that it actually stands for Phantom Fang. And I also found out that the FA in Stormbringer FA actually means Fatal Ash instead of full armor. In terms of differences between the Fatal Ash and the Phantom Fang, aside from the obvious color scheme, the shoulder armors have been redesigned, the V-fin and antennas are different, the abdomen armor is bulkier, and there seems to be updated leg armors. Overall, this kit is meant to be a custom, so you can get parts from a variety of kits, so you can mix and match the parts. Now for the build process, since this kit mainly uses parts from older kits, it does have polycap joints, which means you'll probably run into some issues like the arms and legs being loose or just popping out in general. I had to use the super glue method on the pegs to tighten them up. The fingers and the thrusters as well as the toe armors are also pretty loose sometimes, but nothing a little bit of blue tack won't fix. Aside from that, the build is easy and straightforward. In terms of nub marks, since this is mainly using older parts, like I said, I'm gonna say that a lot. Be prepared to do some nub cleanup. There is a pilot fig in the cockpit, but there is no cockpit hatch opening gimmick. It also has swappable fingers, so you have an array of hand poses to choose from. It also gives you the option to use the GM turbulence head instead of the standard Gundam head. For the appearance, as I mentioned earlier, this is supposed to be a custom gunpla, and it certainly does look the part. The kit includes some water slide decals, a couple of foil stickers for the sensors, and a color correcting sticker for the antenna of the GM head. Although I would recommend painting the sensors instead, especially the raised circular one on the backpack, as in my experience they do tend to raise up after a little while. And out of the box, the kit actually looked pretty alright, but it was missing something for me. On the P-Bandai website, in the promotional photos, it looks like there's a hint of blue in the armor, and if you do look at the color guide in the manual, it does say there's a hint of blue in it. The P-Bandai webpage does say that the product in the photos are going to be different from the actual product, but it's always been like that. But some people might be new and be surprised. There are also different parts in the armor, like the skirts, the abdomen, the leg armors, and thrusters that need painting, but since I'm lazy, instead of color correcting them to the darker gray that's supposed to be, I just painted them black and weathered it and colored it a day. But if you are aiming for accuracy, some painting and touch-ups will be required to bring out this kit's finer details. The seam lines are fairly hidden, but still noticeable in some areas like the leg armor, but since it is two parts instead of one big piece, you can easily cement that and file it to hide. Besides that, it's pretty good by itself. In terms of articulation, the Stormbringer P.F. holds up pretty well. It's not the most dynamic kit in terms of posability, but it's not because of the bulkier armor. You can still get some pretty good solid poses out of it. It's mainly limited by the fact that it uses a much older frame and the boxier armor type, so it's not the bulk, it's the style of the armor. The head, shoulders, elbows, and torso, as well as the legs, all have pretty decent movement. The ankles, on the other hand, aren't very articulate and can only go so far. That being said, the articulation is good enough for dynamic poses and some action shots, so you won't be too limited. For the weapons and accessories, first you have the twin beam cannons, which it inherits from the GM Dominance. It can be put in either hands. The arms have no problems posing with it. What it does have a problem posing with is the Gatling gun. The arms have a harder time staying in place due to the weight, so the shoulders will sag down. but you can find the sweet spot that the arms can hold it up and it'll look spectacular once posed. But if you don't want to hassle yourself with all that, you can put it in its tripod and become the autonomous sentry gun and pose it right next to your kit. Next is the beam sabers. You do get 2 of these, so you can dual wield with them, and the Stormbringer holds on to it no problems. And if you do want to store it, you can do so by sticking it into the beam saber racks on the back skirt. Speaking of beam sabers, the kit also comes with box beam sabers mounted on its forearms, which acts as beam tonfas. If you're using the twin beam cannons, however, you can't use it simultaneously. And before we move on, of course, let's take a closer look at the black beam saber effect, which, if the light hits just right, looks dark blue. You will need a really nice snipper to cut it so that the nubs won't show as much, but even if you don't, the black plastic makes it real easy to hide. Up next is the rocket cannon custom, which is mounted on the right side of the backpack. It's sort of on a rail, so it's on an angle when not in use, and if you want to pose it, you simply pull it out and it can go up and down. And last but not least, it also comes with an action base adapter, so you can put your Stormbringer in flight poses and of course different action poses. Now, should you buy it as a P-Bandai exclusive, it does cost more compared to your standard release kits. It's also a little less known since it comes from a Gunpla kit from a web light novel. I assume it might be big in Japan, or people do know it and I'm just out of the loop. The Gym Dominance line has all been a P-Bandai exclusive, which is a crime because it looks so awesome. Honestly, I picked it up because I thought it looked cool and maybe other people did so too. Also, if you like custom Gunpla designs but don't want to go down the kit bashing route, this might be the kit for you. All in all, the Stormbringer P.F is a great looking kit out of the box, but a little bit of paintwork will really make it stand out. If you're not planning on painting or weathering it, you might find the out of box build a little bit underwhelming like I did. Bandai has built a reputation for being the snap build, no glue required company for model kits, but Gunpla kits are still very much part of the model kit building hobby, and part of that hobby is learning to paint. Granted, I still suck at masking and cleanup, but it's part of the fun. That being said, if you're willing to invest time into the build, this kit really does have a lot to offer. And with that, hopefully this helps you guys out to decide if you do want to get this kit once it makes its rounds back to the P-Bandai website. Like the video if you like it, comment down below if you like the kit as is out of the box. It really helps me out and motivates me to make more videos. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. See you.